Hey, I showed up to the hockey game with my buddy Ralph, and I saw that bender over there, and I said, "Hey, buddy, get off my hockey."
Ash and Zach are super smart. They went to college and learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college because that's the way life goes sometimes. What happens when you put them together and you try to make them learn? Grab your friends, let's listen together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast.
Welcome to Get Dumped On, an info dump podcast. The podcast where four friends hang out, learn a little bit, and laugh a lot. I'm sorry if we're a little bit sicky today. Andrew and I are both a bit congested, but that's okay. We'll soldier on. Today, we're going to be talking about hockey, and it's going to be a rare, elusive upper decker where Andrew is going to dump on us. And I am very, very excited. Andrew, tell us what you're going to be doing today.
Open your mouth, bitches. You're getting
Oh, no, I don't like this.
It's aggressive out the gate.
It started far too aggressively.
Oh, shit. I started that, and then I didn't know where I was going with
It's
it. But
too hot. It's too hot.
Can I close my mouth now? My jaw's
if you
hurting.
can't stand the heat, get out of the upper deck. Am I right?
No.
No, damn it. Yeah, we're going to be talking about hockey today. Hockey is near and dear to my heart. I love hockey. I played hockey pretty much my entire life, and I love it, and it's great. So, Zach and Ash do not know anything about hockey.
I know
Zero
nothing about
knowledge of
hockey.
hockey. I've been to exactly one hockey game, and it was with you.
And I made
was-
you go to it.
I was at that
was fun, though.
exact
I liked
same
it.
hockey. I was at the same hockey game. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I keep saying, hey, we should go to another hockey game, but then we don't. But we should.
I'm not sure it would be as fun if we weren't with someone who knew the rules, because we'd be like, why is that guy over there? And you'd be like, oh, it's because of the way that it is. And I was like, cool.
It's
But
still
without-
fun to go.
Without you,
It's
I'd
still
be
fun
like,
to go.
there's skating.
The good thing about hockey games is there's a lot of people like me there who, if you're just sitting next to somebody, you just look at them and go, hey, why'd this happen? And they'll be like, oh, because of this.
Hockey.
No.
The hockey community is a very friendly, welcoming, open community, which is very nice.
Now, what's Bo? I know that
Yeah,
you. What's your hockey experience? How much do you know? Do you know these stories?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the hockey expert in this podcast. That's why I let Andrew
Bo does
take
not
care
know
of
what
it.
I'm about to say. He did not
You're
run
the
this by
hockey
him at all.
expert. Then why is Andrew the one doing it?
Because I let him take the reins, man. He's a better speaker than I
So,
am.
Bo and myself and my friend Evan started a hockey podcast, and Bo joined us one season in. Bo is our resident non-hockey expert.
He has to have picked up a little bit. I mean, I know
Ooh.
Bo doesn't.
I know, yeah, I was
pick
gonna
up a lot.
He's been on a lot of episodes now, so he's been to a hockey game. He went and saw his new favorite team.
Mhm.
He knows a lot more about hockey now. He is learning. He is growing, and I'm very proud of him. He's
Yep.
doing a good job.
I'm 30
Ciao,
years
Bo.
old and still growing.
Yeah, buddy, you never stop learning.
That's
So,
literally the spirit of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So let's get started. I wanted to ask you guys, specifically you, Ash and Zach, do you have any questions for me? Or do you have any terms that you've heard that you're like, what the hell is this?
Everything that I know about hockey comes from the one time that I watched Goon like 10 years ago.
Good. Good.
And yeah,
It's one of the only two good hockey movies.
It was
Everyone
great.
else is
what's,
garbage.
What's the other one? Is it the one with Kurt Russell?
No, it's the Mighty
Yeah,
Ducks.
it's a miracle.
Oh.
Mighty Ducks is garbage and I hate them.
I hate you. How dare you?
Is the
Ironic
what's it
that my
called?
favorite team is the Ducks.
Legend? Is that what it's called?
Miracle.
Miracle. That's it. What's the story of that movie?
That is the 1988 hockey team.
Yeah, but
That
What, the
they
Miracle?
beat. It was a miracle because it was a bunch of college kids who sucked playing against a bunch of Russian dudes whose entire life and being was to be the best at hockey. And they call it the Miracle on Ice because these fucking ragtag college
It was
kids
like
just
Sparta.
showed up and they got the shit beat out of them in like an exhibition game by them, and they came back and they beat them in the silver medal game and ended up actually winning the gold medal later on against.
Oh, this was Olympic
Sweden.
hockey.
So like the
Olympic
Rocky
hockey.
Four of hockey?
I've never seen Rocky. I only watch hockey.
that rhymed. No,
Yeah.
I hate that
No,
movie
Rocky, only hockey.
I hate the movie because he thinks they won it all, but they just show them beating Russia and like, oh, they did it.
Yeah, well, it's like
It's
they-
a
they-
game.
People think that was the gold medal game. It was not. It was the game before the gold medal game. So they had to get over the mountain, and then they just kind of coasted the rest of the way.
That's funny.
But it still was a great feat. No one had ever beaten that team in like fucking ever, I think. So it was good. It was good.
Well, I don't know this movie or anything about hockey. Here's what I know about hockey. Wayne Gretzky. They fight a lot. Letterkenny.
Yes, you're saying all right things.
That's it. I'm tapped.
Who is the
Perfect.
other hockey?
Sticks and pucks.
Brian
Slapshot.
LaFleur? Is Brian LaFleur? Is that a name?
LaFleur it's a hockey. Excuse me, that's a hockey family. There's a lot of them.
Okay.
The New Jersey Devils.
And he's
Detroit Red Wings.
dodgeball guy.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball.
That's where I got that from.
What was his name? What was his name in that movie? Something LaFleur. Peter LaFleur. That's what it was.
Peter LaFleur. Yep.
Sorry,
and
what were you saying,
Jaromir
Ash?
Jagr is the other one that I know. Because
Fun fact about Jagr, real quick. Jagr just beat the record for most goals in playing professionally because he still plays today. He's like,
Wow, good for him.
He's incredible.
I only know him because
he's a 60-year-old professional hockey player.
Yeah, well, he plays in like the Czech league now, and fun fact, he owns the team he plays for, so they can't cut him. But he's still
that's the one way
he's
to do
still
it.
doing good. He's scoring like he's like I'm awesome.
The Czech league is.
I forget what league that one is. Honestly, there's a lot of things in the Europe that happen. It's all thing. Anyway, let's get started though. So that was a long intro, and I love it. It's all about hockey. So some fun facts for you guys. Just if you didn't know, there's some weird little things. Nothing in order. Nothing that I chose for reasons. These are just things that popped in my head that I wrote down. Hockey pucks are 6 ounces of vulcanized rubber, and they are frozen because they are not
That makes
hard
sense.
enough, apparently.
So they can slide.
They slide better, they bounce less, and it makes them hurt more when you get hit by them.
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
at my old work, there was always a hockey puck in the freezer.
That's awesome. I love that. That's so cool. On average, 12 pucks are used in a game because of the thawing factor.
Oh, I was gonna say
Cool.
because they break them.
Very rare do they
The
break.
rubber
That
all the way
vulcanized
through.
rubber is.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they
that seems like
vulcanized
it'd be
the
really
shit out of
difficult
it.
to do.
Let's see. Stanley Cup is the oldest trophy in all of professional sports at 130 years old.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
It was instituted
That is
before the
pretty
NHL was a thing by
That's
some
fun.
guy named Lord Stanley. I don't know where he's. Some guy in Canada did something. Some bad to England or some shit. I don't know.
And
But
you're not supposed to touch it unless you win.
that's a superstition. Hockey players are very superstitious, and yes, a lot of them say don't touch it because the only time you want to touch it is when you've earned it.
Hmm. Lots of sports are very superstitious.
It's true. It's true.
It's tradition for the winning team to drink out of it, though, right?
Oh, they do more than that.
Oh,
Oh,
Are they
they
fucking
pee,
the
they
trophy?
pee in it?
yeah.
Get over here, trophy.
Oh, no.
There's many stories. So every player gets if you win it, you get a day with the cup. And
It's
the
like-
cup keepers, there's literally 2 people who they're the handlers of the Stanley Cup. Their job is to bring it around the world. That's literally their job, and it's the coolest fucking job in the
Do
world.
they
Could
listen
you
to the
imagine that-
Daft Punk song while they do it?
The what?
Around the world, around
yeah.
the world.
They put headphones on the Stanley Cup. It's hilarious.
Oh man, what if you?
So
put,
they just go on.
have you ever seen those things on the internet where it's like a little vibrating sticker, or like it's not a sticker,
No.
but
They
it's like you put it on something, and the gimmick is that it can turn anything into a speaker because a speaker is just a vibrating
Oh.
cone, right? And it
Yeah, that's true.
it's like you
Slap
stick it
one of
on
those
something.
bad boys on the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, slap it in the Stanley Cup, like when you put your phone in a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it like louder. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, so every player gets their day with the cup. People do whatever they want out of it. I've seen people eat ice cream out of it. I've seen people eat hot dogs out of it. I've seen people put dog food in it. I've seen people have cereal in it. I've seen someone grab it and throw it in the pool because they've won it too many times and he just didn't want to see it anymore, and he just tossed it in his pool for the day.
Was
So-
it the same cup? Has the cup been replaced at any point?
Same
in time?
exact cup.
That's
so
my favorite
the
part
cup
about
on the
it.
cup on the
Well, I
top
assume
is
not for
this- is
130 years.
It's the same exact one, and they take care of it meticulously. So what they do is it's the cup on the top part of it that will always be the same, and then it gets bigger as it goes down to the bottom. The bottom is there's like 5 rings around it. They're the biggest part of it. When you win the cup, you get the entire team gets the name on that little portion of it, with the name, with all the trainers, everybody who helped you, and that's enshrined forever. So the next people, there's an empty spot for them, there's an empty spot for them, and then finally, when one of those rings is full, they take that ring off, they give it to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and they put a blank ring on the bottom. So it's just endless names are being etched into that thing.
Oh,
But the very top part,
okay.
yeah, the very top part though, original will always be original. They can't change it.
That's great.
It's pretty fucking cool. Let's see.
Steeped in history.
The NHL is one of the only sports where fans can legitimately have a chance to play due to an emergency goaltender situation. So every game, there's a guy sitting in the stands that the home team calls. They usually just like call a rink around the stadium, and they're like, "Hey, send me a goalie." He doesn't have to be good. He just has to be a goalie. And if for some reason both goaltenders on one team get hurt, they call that guy.
I
And he
love
straps
that.
on the pillows. And it happens way more often you would think. But when it does happen, it is the most fun shit in the world. Especially
God,
when
I
they
can
win,
imagine.
which is rare. But there's a guy in Carolina who filled in for... it was a guy who filled in for Carolina. He was the Zamboni driver for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he beat the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Get him.
It was incredible. It was one of the coolest stories ever.
That's great.
Can you imagine
Can you imagine?
Place? Like that place probably
So
fucking
cool.
went wild.
It went fucking insane.
Can we just circle
it was
back
the talk of the town.
real quick? You said they could strap on the pillows.
Yeah.
That's what they call the like hockey pads.
Yes, but for
That's
the
really
leg
cute.
pads, I'm glad that you like that because that's just normal talk for me. So I'm glad that you're enjoying that.
It's really cute. Strap on
that's
the
what
pillows.
they call the goalie leg pads. They look like pillows, so it's funny.
They do.
Let's see, and then one last one. So you said Wayne Gretzky. The Gretzky brothers actually played in the NHL together, and they both hold the record for the most goals scored by a set of brothers, with a total of 2,861, of which Wayne scored 2,857, and Brent scored 4.
I was gonna say, oh man, why don't we know the other brother? That's so fucked up. It's
why.
justified. It's justified.
Hey, he's still a record holder.
Well,
Yeah, good
I
job,
heard
Brent.
something that was like Wayne Gretzky, if you took away all of his goals, he'd still have more points than any other player because of his assists.
Yep, he scored so
Wow.
much in a short amount of short amount of time that it's going to be impossible for anyone to catch him point wise. However, there's a guy right now who just moved into second place. He has to score 80 something goals to beat him goal wise, and no one ever thought that would be broken. So that's the hot ticket right now: is if this guy can, one, stay healthy enough to play for a few more years because he's getting up there, and two, keep scoring at the pace that he is. So there's actually history might be made in a few years, pretty soon.
So like
When was? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so like, is it cool to be like a fan of Wayne Gretzky, or is he like the mainstream choice for like your favorite player? And if you say it, like if you say that your favorite hockey player is Wayne Gretzky, is that kind of like saying that your favorite band is the Beatles, and like people are gonna make fun of you for being unoriginal?
Kind of, yeah. I'll say that's
Don't
like a
make fun
half
of
and half.
people.
Because I get that, because Wayne Gretzky played in a time where goalies were different. Goalies, they wore way smaller pads. The goalies nowadays, their pads are humongous. And to beat a goalie, you have to be fucking incredible at playing hockey.
When was
So-
he the most popular? In the 80s?
I'd say 80s and 90s was his that was his forte. But he
That was
he
Gretzky
was the
time?
first guy. Yeah, he was so fast, and no one could really catch him. He had a good shot, and he had good sense, which at the time it was a brute sport, and I think he was one of the first guys who made it into a speed sport. So that helped him out a lot. Plus the
Apollo
goalies
Anton Odo.
were- Exactly. Apollo Anton Gretzky.
Oh.
Or
Whoa.
I don't know. So, okay, let's get us two dumps and a chump. I actually have two of them for you.
Yes.
So before two dumps and a chump, I forgot I wrote down one more thing. Have you heard the term hoser?
Yes,
In
Do you
Letterkenny
know what it
and
means?
in general.
I just know that a hoser is like a dork or like a lame guy. It's a negative term.
It is a negative. It's not a slur, but it's a negative annotation towards someone.
You hoser.
Your hoser is a loser. If you're a loser, you're a hoser. Because back in the day before Zambonis were created, the loser of the game that you played had to hose down the ice. Therefore, you are a hoser.
That's fantastic. I love that.
It's
That's
fucking
great.
crazy.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to
Words
call
are
everyone
crazy.
a hoser now, just because now I know the origin.
Oh, it's fucking
and
awesome.
even better.
It's so good, and it's not racist, which is amazing.
Oh, good.
Oh my God.
So, okay, 2 Dumps and a Chump. Bo, I don't know if you know these, so feel free to join in.
Yeah, Bo, you
but
gotta
you've
keep-
probably heard me say these.
I haven't
before.
been hearing enough of my best friend Bo. You know, you gotta jack up
'cause
the quips, buddy.
Well, no.
All right, so I'm looking for a 2 of these are real. One of them is not, and they are terms for a save a goalie would make. Number 1, bucket robbery. Number 2, stack the pads. And number 3, stand on head.
Can you repeat the question again?
Which one of these terms for a goalie making a save is false?
Hmm.
Bucket robbery,
That has to
stack
be
the
true.
pads,
Hmm.
or stand on head.
I love all of those phrases. Bucket robbery is in particular is I hope it's real. I hope it's real.
That has to be true. That
It
has
has
to
to
be
be
true.
real.
It sounds too right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. We have to have our own side. We get to be in a sidebar.
Yeah, have your sidebar.
Oh, we get to
Go
do
to
our
your
Sidebar, sidebar,
Okay,
sidebar,
I'm gonna run away.
sidebar,
See you
sidebar,
later.
sidebar,
Bye.
sidebar.
Bo, get in here.
Oh, hey,
Bo.
hey, it's me.
Hey.
Hey,
Which one
welcome to the sidebar.
It
Hey.
feels really nice to be in a sidebar.
Yeah,
Thanks
the
for
sidebar.
having
It's-
me.
I like having new company in the sidebars. Like, I usually got the other guy, but I got you two now. More the merrier.
Okay, so I think bucket robber has to be true.
Stack the
Then
pads.
Stack the pads
I
or
think
stand on head.
I think it's stack the pads. That's just me.
You think
is
it's stack
not
the
true.
pads? What's
Because
your
that
reason?
sounds like something like cheating. Like, oh, he's putting on extra pads.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
right?
wait. Are these two? Wait, two
Is
are
it-
wrong, one's right, or is it one right or two are right?
Two
one's
dumps
wrong?
Two are right,
Two
one is
dumps
wrong.
and a chump.
Oh,
I thought you weren't listening.
Huh?
I thought you weren't listening. I thought this sidebar was a safe space.
Yeah. Hey, Mister, shut the fuck
I
up.
was just,
dude.
I was just walking.
Shut-
I was just nearby. See you later. Bye.
See, here we go. He's gone. Fuck! Finally got that guy out of here. What a terrible host. What a
I'm gonna
fucking
s-
terrible host.
I'm gonna say that stack that because I feel like a stand on head would be like, oh, you had to stand on his head to get that one. I don't know. That seems like it would
Yeah,
be
Sounds
big
very
to me.
Canadian. So
Yeah, I
go
see
say
it.
hockey.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's stack
So,
the pads. I think we're
Let's
in
go
agreement.
with stack the pads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Andrew, you can come back. Oh, he's here.
I never left. So, standing on your head, you are correct. Stand on head is right. That's a real thing. If a goalie is making save by save by save by save, moving left and right, that dude's standing on his head and he's breakdancing. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Um,
Fantastic.
the wrong one is bucket robbery. That's
No!
not- I made that up.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh no! You should come up with hockey slang because that is gold.
Yeah, it's
You know what? I mean, bucket is a term for a helmet, so maybe someone steals somebody's helmet, but it's not
I
the
thought-
goalie who's doing that.
I thought they called the goal the bucket.
Yeah, that was
that's
my
what I thought.
interpretation.
Maybe that would make sense. I've never heard it, but I'm cool with it.
kind of a basketball thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, hockey hockey terms
both
are
have
made
nets.
up constantly, so it's
All
if you
sports
say it
terms are.
around, if just go to any hockey rink and say it around some like teenage hockey players, and within a week, everyone will be saying it. I guarantee.
Andrew,
because they
you
just
should-
fucking,
Either that or they'll call you a
You
hoser.
should bring it. Mm. or a
and then
boomer.
stack the pads. Stack the pads is real. If the goalie puts his legs side by side, it's stacking the
Oh.
pads. So if
That makes sense.
if they lay on their side and they put their legs side to side, it's pretty cool looking when they make the save.
Now,
Okay,
I am
and then one
remembering
more-
now that when I was in
Oh, yeah.
when I was in high school during gym class, one of the things that we would do was hockey, floor hockey, and I would always pick the goalie position because it meant the least amount of moving around. And what I would eventually do to maximize my laziness is just lie down in front of the goal.
You stack the pads.
Yeah, and then the gym teacher yelled at me after a while, and I had to actually get up. But for a brief moment there, it was pretty great. I think now that I'm thinking about it, he probably thought that I would get slammed in the face with a puck.
Yeah,
But
right
yeah,
to the
yeah.
kidney.
That's the whole thing.
Andrew, I'm gonna need you to start throwing around bucket robbery because you're the one who interacts with hockey the most. So like you're gonna be like, oh, what a bucket robbery! Like you got to bring
And
it.
people
up.
would be like, "Well, that was pretty fucking cool." What he said.
Yeah. Exactly. You've got that sort
You're
of
cool
you've
guy.
got that raw charisma that'll really spread it around.
It's true.
Yeah. So I got one more for you, and this is actually going to lead into our first story. I'm looking for two of these are real, one of them is fake. 2 dumps and a chump. Shot names.
Okay.
Mm.
Slapshot, clapper, smoker.
Oh man, this is a toss up for me.
I know that Slapshot's a real thing.
It has, yeah, like that's the one I've heard.
Slapshots is like the famous one. Like that's the one that I. But what? Can you repeat the other two?
The clapper and
So
smoker.
the other two, clapper and smoker.
I think that a clapper could be it because of the sound it makes when the stick hits the puck.
Yeah. Although a smoker could be it because like you hit the ice so hard
Yeah.
that it like turns into vapor.
Oh shit!
I love your thinking on that one.
I was just thinking like you hit it so hard it was hot. Ooh.
Yeah.
Bo, do you happen to know
I think it's actually Clapper.
that clapper is fake or clapper is real?
Clapper's real, so the smoke.
Smoker is fake.
Smoker's fake, yeah.
I mean, I would say that smoker is fake, but it's a 50-50 for me.
Yeah. Do we have a coin we could toss?
Let's just say smoker, yeah?
I don't know, Bo, you're old. Do you
Because
have a quarter
smoking
around?
kills.
You're no.
Aren't you older than him?
Make a decision in 3, 2,
Smoker.
Smoker.
1.
Smoker.
That is correct. Smoker is incorrect. It's
Hey.
made that up.
Ah.
So, fun fact, slapshot and clapper are the same shot. It's just a nickname for a slapshot.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which one do
That
you
makes
prefer?
sense.
Clapper is easier.
Hmm.
It's it's easier to like fall off the tongue. It's like, yeah, nice clapper there. It's like nice slap shot. I feel like I have to say more things, even though it's
Yeah.
the same amount of syllables.
And why is it not just a slapper then?
Oh, a slapper.
People say slapper, but clapper just feels better.
It's true.
Clapping
That's the
these
thing about
pucks like
hockey
I'm clapping
lingo,
those
yeah.
cheeks.
Exactly. So one of the things you've probably heard in Letterkenny, which has been around for a while, it's clapping bombs and fucking moms. Like it's just people love to make weird rhymes and shit, and it's hilarious. So those two dumps and a chump actually are leading us into our first story, in honor of Black History Month as well. I love this story, and it's something that just came out like mainstreamy around 2008, 2009, and it's ever evolving because even more information has been pouring out of the ether about this.
Oh, a slow
No one
burn.
really knew about this, and it's fucking awesome. Did you know the NHL was founded in 1917?
I did not know that.
They were not the first professional hockey league.
Mm.
Mm.
The first ever hockey league was in Canada, called the Colored Hockey League. It was a black league. They started it themselves, and it was legitimately the first ever in the world hockey league.
Nice.
Nice.
They started as, it was actually a bunch of churches. A bunch of pastors were trying to get more kids to come, and they promised the kids after every service they could play hockey afterwards. And that's how it
You
started.
gotta bribe kids with religion. It's just what you gotta do.
It was in 1895. It was described as incredibly fast, incredibly competitive, and it lasted for, I think, 35 years.
Nice.
35 years? Nice.
35 years. And the coolest thing about this, in my opinion, the slap shot was invented by a black guy in this league
Sick.
named Eddie Martin. In 1906, he took the first slap shot, and the rest is history.
That probably rocked the fucking house so hard. Can you imagine the first time some dude rolled up and just went, whoop, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It melted
Everyone
minds.
was just pushing it forward, and one guy was like, hold the fuck up.
Let me just smack the shit out of this.
What if I do this instead?
All right, now I
And the
noticed.
rest was fucking history.
I noticed that you were all hitting the puck pretty hard, but have you considered hitting it really hard?
Really fucking hard.
Wind up a lot.
Hard's good, but if you ever tried harder,
So yeah, slap shots were created in the Colored Hockey League, CHL.
Do you
Also,
know-
go for it.
Do you know if at this time, like the rules were the same, like, or have the hockey rules evolved over time?
So the rules were a little different. They were roughly the same. I'll say like the base elements of it were, but hockey has definitely evolved over time to make it better.
That's similar to
however-
baseball and football.
One of the things that these guys did, though, the goalie before was not able to stop the puck. So if they catch it, now if they hold on to it, they'll get a whistle, and then everyone can take a little break. This in the CHL, these were the first to do it. They were pioneers, and as well as the goalie position, there's a style of goaltender called butterfly, where you're kind of on your knees and you got your legs out.
Mhm.
First one to ever do it was also in this league as well. So they created a lot of what the NHL is today, which is
Setting the
fucking awesome.
foundations.
They set the foundations. My favorite part of this story, though, a bunch of white leagues started coming in after that because they're like, oh, we're white people.
Well, I
Yeah,
want to do
fucking
that.
Fucking chumps, dude. It's recorded that not only did these guys spank the shit out of those guys nightly, but also the white leagues, they got roughly around 500 fans a game. Yeah, the black leagues got like 1,200 to 1,500 fans a game.
You love to see
They
it.
were so much more popular. And this was in the early 1900s.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome.
That
It was
must have been
awesome.
some good ass hockey, man. As a thing, hockey was invented in Scandinavia, or was it Canada?
You know, I actually don't know that. I'm going to look that up right now. Hockey was invented. Nope, that's not right. Let's see. The modern sport was in Canada, but actually, I don't know if anyone actually knows where it came from. It just seems to be always around.
Hockey seems like one of those sports, kind of like lacrosse, where it's been around for like thousands of years, but only has just like started being like formalized into an actual sport, you know? Because like using some sticks and slapping something across an icy lake just seems like a real primordial sport, you know? Like you don't need that much like extra gear for it. Like it's not like basketball where you have to like rely on somebody inventing balls that can bounce. It's like you know, you can
Well,
just anything that'll slide on the ice is good enough.
So funny you bring that up. The first recorded hockey pucks were actually made of cow poop. So yeah, it was a bunch of farmers out there
Frozen
slapping
cow
poop around.
patties.
Frozen cow patties, that's where it's at, man. See, yeah, dude, it's all you need is something that can slide.
That's awesome. But yeah, so that was the story of the CHL, and this is a ever evolving thing. There's been a few books written about them. They're fucking fascinating, and there's even more information coming out every year. Just like family members will find something and be like, "Oh shit, my dad played in that league here," and they're giving them to historians, and it's super super cool. So, but they also paved the way for a lot of awesome black hockey players who play now, and it's great to have them. It's fucking awesome.
So when the NHL was founded, was it like what's the word here? Like integrated or was it like all other sports leagues in the time where
No, so it was I don't know if they weren't allowed to play, to be completely honest with you. I've never actually heard that. But I do know that the first black hockey player, his name was Willie O'Ree, and I think he was
In the NHL, you mean?
Yeah, in the NHL. I'm pretty sure it was like maybe 40 years after they were in there. So it was definitely a while, which sucked.
Fucking classic white supremacy. Hey, I know
Yeah,
that you
dude.
like basically invented this and are like really like popular and cool, but you
Yeah.
can't play with us.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
thankfully now it's an open sport. Hockey, there's literally a term
We're
in hockey.
fucking
It's,
upset.
hockey is for everybody. It's a good community to have. It's awesome. So that's
wow.
the story of the CHL.
the first non-white player in the NHL was a guy named Larry Kwong, who was Asian, and that was in 1948.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good. That's cool.
And Willie O'Ree was in 1958.
And when did
Willie
the
O'Ree.
NHL?
That's
When
awesome.
did you say the NHL started?
1917.
Oh,
Yeah, a little bit. Either way, so yeah, that's that. I do have one more story for you though. So
I have a quick question.
But yeah, now it's time for questions about this.
Well, it's not necessarily about this, but it's just kind of about
Or
hockey in
questions
general.
in general. Yeah, you go for it.
Why do hockey players fight so much? Like, why is it the sport where you fight?
I'm glad you brought that up. That's awesome because that ties into the next story.
Oh, okay.
Hockey players fight. Hockey is yes, there's referees, but sometimes you just gotta get some frustrations out. So,
sometimes you just got
on
to
your
throw off
team-
the gloves and
Exactly. And if you throw off the gloves, you're not kicked out of the game. Just go sit down for 5 minutes, cool off, and then you can play again. So it's a self-policing game, sort of in the hockey politeness of it. If you hit my guy and it was a mean hit, I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to tell you it was
With
bad.
my fist.
I'm going to tell you. They legitimately, they don't start attacking each other. They look at each other and say, "Do you want to do this?" And they get consent, and they say, "Yes, I do." And then they fight. And it's
So-
they fight for a myriad of reasons. Either maybe somebody's bullying their best player, maybe Maybe they need some energy on their team, and all the guys are flat-footed, and they're just like, "Yeah, you guys, I'll fight for you, and I'll get it all up." And the crowd gets into it, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, that gave me some adrenaline." It's pretty cool. And there's a guy on every team known as the Enforcer, which that movie Goon was about. There's just a guy. The guy who doesn't score. He's a shit skater. He doesn't score goals ever. All he does is punch people in the face.
Just a tank.
So he's the
They're called the
designated
Enforcer.
the designated hitter of hockey.
Literally.
Yes.
So instead
But
of
so
being-
what do you think it is about hockey that makes it that fighting is so, because like in other sports, like in baseball, a brawl is really rare, and like you're not supposed to fight. In football, I also think that you're really not supposed to fight. So like what do you think, what is it about hockey that like encourages this? Where do you think that came from?
Hockey, you've always been allowed to hit, I think. And in football, you're only allowed to really like tackle the guy with the ball, I guess, and then everything stops. Where in hockey, if you have the puck, or you just had the puck, or you're just about to have the puck, you are liable to get destroyed. And the play keeps going. So you go and you go and you go and you go. It's just nonstop hitting and
Just
eventually
part of the hockey's
Yeah.
culture.
and it's not illegal to hit somebody. So if you hit somebody and then you hit somebody else and you hit somebody else and the other team goes, "Hey, that guy's hitting people." They're like, "Well, I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit his people." And then eventually it boils over to where you have a little scrap, everything cools off, you go sit down for 5 minutes, and then you go out.
Gentleman's
Is there
violence.
something about the ice that makes you angry?
It's so cold. I'm mad.
'Cause you're always slipping around. You can't get a nice, good grip on anything. You know?
I know, right? So there's actually a t-shirt brand called Violent Gentlemen who they glorify the fighting in hockey, and it's nice because you're violent about it, but you're a gentleman. It's cool.
Oh yeah, those are the shirts I always see you wearing.
Oh, they're comfy as shit too. They're expensive as all balls, though. I hate that I bought so many of these because they're $40 a pop. But damn it, they're comfy.
Damn, that's a lot for a tee. You know, tees cost a lot these days.
Everything
It
costs a lot
really
these
is.
days.
I remember when I was in high school buying T-shirts with silly sayings on them. It was like $17. Now the same T-shirt's like $27. You get like a $30 shirt for it is like the default.
How much does a hockey puck cost?
Hockey pucks are cheap. They're like $1.
I was about to say
Nice.
$3.50. Damn it.
$3.50?
I bought a hockey puck recently, and it was like $1 something with change.
I wonder how
They're
hard
pretty
you'd
cheap.
have to hit a hockey puck to get it to just like break.
Extremely, because the hardest hockey shot in NHL history is 109.2 miles an hour, and it didn't break it.
Do you have that written down or you have that memorized?
I have that memorized.
That's great. I love that about you.
That's so fast.
Yeah, that people have legitimately broken their legs trying to block people's shots,
Wow.
and they're wearing pads, and pads didn't work.
Well, I mean, I guess if a friggin' bullet of rubber just hits you, you know?
Ow. Pain. Yeah, it fucking sucks. So, but I'm glad you brought up the Enforcer thing. The guys who fight. But I do have one more two dumps and a chump before my last story, if you'd like to
Hit us.
participate.
Dump
Okay.
on us.
These are what you would call chirps. A term for somebody else who is playing against you that you would tell them if you think that they suck in any regard. So, number 1, jobber. Number 2, bender. Number 3, duster.
Okay, so you said that
side-
these are all chirp. Oh, sorry. So these are all chirps. So things that like you would say to the other team to be admonishing.
Yes, like you're a jobber, you're a bender, you're a duster.
Okay, sidebar. Oh, kidding.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, it's me. Bo,
I think-
everyone's friend.
A jobber is a wrestling term.
A jobber is, well, they use it a lot too in other
Yeah, I don't know
animes
if
as well,
it's
as someone who sets up something like the person that gets beat up on, isn't it?
Yeah, but that comes from wrestling,
All right.
right? The jobber is the guy who loses the fight.
Oh.
Loses
believe
the
you.
match.
Which
I don't
means
know- I don't-
you guys
I don't know
losing,
a lot
you guys
about
jobbing
wrestling.
here. Hey, you hoes,
I just-
jobbing.
Yeah,
Your
'cause-
chirper and your duster. What was the
and
middle one?
that's where jabroni comes from,
Bender.
right? Is jabroni
Bender.
is just a variant of jobber?
Is that true?
That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's
I'm
true, but
getting
that's what
like
I've heard.
triple dumped on right now.
I'm-
That's such a fun fact.
I'm choosing to believe you, so yeah.
So I think that jobber is not the hockey term.
I think
Let's
it-
put. I'm gonna put. Oh,
Oh, I thought it would be.
Well, because it's a wrestling
Mm.
term.
well, you guys don't have to agree. You know.
I disagree.
Yeah, this is like you don't have.
Which one do you think it
can
is, Bo?
fight.
I think it's Jobber and Knobber. I don't remember the other two. What were the other two?
Knobber was not one of them.
Wanted to rhyme.
About Bender and Duster were the other two.
Bander?
Bender.
Oh, Bender.
That's
Hey,
a
man.
character for Futurama.
Yeah. I think, hey, you guys are just bending over to our team. You know?
Yeah, friggin' Bender.
Yeah, look at you freaking Bender. Yeah, Hosa. Chopping
A
all
duster-
over up in New York City.
Hey, I showed up to a hockey game with my buddy Ralph, and I saw that Bender over there, and I said, "Hey, buddy, get off my hockey."
Get off my hockey. That sounded pretty natural, though. I don't know.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
And a
What's the-
duster is a name for a coat.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh yeah. Now I'm just thinking about
Dusting. Me too. My silly
no,
fan is
I was
awful
thinking-
right now.
I'm just thinking about Always Sunny.
I-
I can't think about a duster anymore without thinking about
with
Always
Mac,
Sunny.
with his,
Yeah.
I got my duster.
Of course, I'm going to wear the duster.
Okay, we got
So,
distracted.
but yeah, all of these terms might have dual meanings in other things, but yet two of them originated
Okay, I think this is a trick.
as hockey.
This is
No,
trick.
they didn't originate, but they've taken over. as
Okay,
hockey
yeah,
slurs.
yeah. So
he's,
if
he's
like,
tricking us. He's tricking us. It's all of
I
them.
think that jobber got originated as a wrestling term, not as a hockey term, and then
I'm gonna
may have
go
been
with Zach.
adapted into hockey. I'm probably overthinking it, but I'm
Well,
going to
since
say that
you're going
jobber is
Zach.
not that because it's the only one that I recognize. So I'm just going to fixate on that.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you on this one. And if you don't, you're banned for 2 weeks.
Well,
You really take that bet.
given how frequently we record, I think that'll be fine.
Excuse me. Excuse me. The teaching philosophy in here is student-led learning and low-stakes learning. Like, you're not going to get punished
yeah.
for getting the wrong answer. That's not how you
my
learn.
podcast.
You fucking loser.
Well,
Sorry,
you're
hoser.
not. You're not the
It's
dumper.
not my pedagogy.
Yeah, that's not my pedagogy.
So the correct answer, as in the incorrect answer, Zach, you are correct. A jobber was a professional
Hey.
wrestling term and still is. It's not used in hockey at all.
Good job. Good
And
job, Ian.
I'm excited for my next Upper Decker because I definitely want to do a professional wrestling episode.
Oh,
I would
please do.
love.
Guys
I would love it. In wrestling,
love it.
again, it's one of those worlds that I've skirted around and just haven't
So weird.
dived into.
So weird.
Dustin
It's the
into it.
weirdest, but I love it. It's great. It's so dumb and so stupid, and it's the greatest thing in the world.
Mhm.
It's gonna be good.
So the other two, the bender is a widely used term for players who are terrible at skating and look as if their skates aren't tied tight enough because their ankles are bending when they're standing on them. So
that
if you
one's
call
fun
somebody a
'cause it's
bender,
like technique.
it's like you suck. You suck at skating. You're bad, at this.
skating.
I love
Your
that.
ankles are all fucked up.
And then the term duster is referring to a player who sits on the bench and collects dust and only is
Ah.
played when the team is up by a lot of goals so you can just get some play. You're just a piece of dust sitting on there.
You
There's a
friggin'
lot of good
duster.
ones. There's one called pylon as well. It's just you're
Just
a
stand there.
pylon. People skate around you all the time like you suck.
Hmm.
There's so many good hockey terms. It's great. But so yeah, Ash, you brought up the guys fighting each other and the enforcers. So this next story is by far one of my favorite stories, if not my favorite story, because it shows how hockey brings people together and how hockey players treat each other. It's a feel good story, I think, but it's also wrought with drama, controversy, romance. I guess romance.
Lay it on,
Um,
dump on us, bro.
all right.
Romanticize.
So it was a hot spring morning. No,
Ooh.
in 2016, it's fairly recent. 2016, the All-Star Game. Now, the All-Star Game takes place halfway through the season. It's almost always boring. They get all the best players on the ice. None of them want to get hurt. None of them want to be there because that means everybody else is on vacation for a week and they have to show up in some town and pretend to play hockey together. Where everyone goes, "You're so good," and it's always just like a smoke show. It's like, yeah, it's boring as shit. It was always so stupid. So in 2016, they changed the rules. They instead of making it a game versus the East Coast and the West Coast best players, they separated the divisions and made it a tournament. It was a 3-on-3 tournament, so the game is a lot faster. And they made it the winning team got $1 million.
Oh, dang.
So that's roughly $100,000 per player.
Okay, I was gonna say, did they split it?
Yeah, they split. So
That sounds
this
fun.
was cool. It was a cool addition. It actually gave them something to play for, because before it was so goddamn boring, and they didn't get paid for it. They're just like, they were all bored. So that was a good change in 2016. It was the first year. And the second thing about this year is they added the ability for a fan vote on which players get to be captains for each of the 4 teams.
Oh,
that's
I can
fun.
see no way that this would go wrong.
As we all know, internet the internet was the internet, and they did internet thing. So if you ever get them the chance to do a fan vote, you should not do that, because the fucking
captain's gonna be this dog, Grumpy Cat.
Exactly. Like there's the Dub the Do campaign. I think that was roughly around the same time. But they allowed fans to decide the Mountain Dew flavor, and the top entries were
Dick.
Gushing Granny, Diabetes, Soda, Sierra Mist, and then and the number one entry being Hitler did nothing wrong.
Just classic
Yeah,
internet
Which
shenanigans.
that is just ridiculous.
You know-
That's like somebody was like,
What
"That's
one?
it," and everyone else went, "Yep, that's it
We
too."
were gonna
I
say
like
this
soda.
was
That
gonna
one's
be
my
the
favorite.
Soda's so good.
This is like
Sierra Mist.
And we were saying this was gonna be the episode where none of us talked about Nazis at all.
Damn it always pops out. But that's for making fun of them in Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one's like, "Hey, cool Nazis." Don't make that the cold open. I swear to fuck. I know you were thinking it.
Well, no, it has to be Bo. That's just the
It
tradition.
has to be Bo. Bo, say the same thing I just said.
Something Nazis.
Bo,
my God.
you are ride or die, and I appreciate that about you.
You appreciate it here, bud. You're not a hoser there, bud.
I'm a duster.
You're no.
Oh, I'm a jobber.
Oh my
I'm a
God.
bender because my ankles are fucked up.
Yeah, they just hurt all the time. I got another example of the internet voting. It's when the British government agency let the internet suggest a name for a $287 million polar ship, and the winning entry was
Bodie
the
McBoatface.
RRS Bodie McBoatface,
Classic.
and they honored
I
that.
love
It
this
is
one.
it is still called that. So when the internet got wind of this fan vote for the NHL, someone decided that it would be hilarious to vote someone into the All-Star game who had absolutely no right being there. And it snowballed into one of the best hockey stories. It's ups and downs, drama, controversy, legends. It became a legend. It's awesome. So, enter John Scott. John Scott, at this point, is a 33-year-old, 6'8" enforcer.
Good
He's a
Lord.
fighter.
He looks like he looks like a fighter. That cocked eyebrow
He
is
He is just a mammoth of a man. His only job is to beat people up. In his entire playing career at this point, he'd been in the league for 8 seasons. He played for 6 different teams, so he moves around a lot. He played 285 NHL games. He had 5 goals and 6 assists.
that's a record you can get behind. Is he wearing?
It's so
Is it
attainable.
normal to wear shorts over your pants in hockey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, those are
Those
are
are pads,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's our pads
but-
there, bud. Hey, bud.
There's pads there and there's pads under there in his whole thing. So in out of the 5 goals and 6 assists in his entire career, he had 542 penalty minutes, which is just because all he does is punch people in the face.
Got a mean right
It's
hook.
If
great.
you asked me to draw a
easy when
picture
you're
of
6'8".
somebody if you asked me to draw a picture of a 6'8" man who does nothing but punch people in the face, I'd draw the picture of that guy. That's just like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And most teams who played against him hated him because he was so good at beating people up. You didn't know anything about this man other than there's the huge guy and he's going to punch you. So he played at the
The big
time.
one is looking at me.
I know. Get away from me. At the time at this happening, he was playing for the Arizona Coyotes. He only played 11 games up to this point and halfway part of the season leading up to the All-Star game. Now, yeah, he was notoriously known for the guy who just punches people, but not a lot was known about him as actual personality-wise, because he wasn't a star. You know, they never interviewed him. He was just the punchy guy. Turns out he's He's a giant teddy bear. He's the sweetest guy ever. He is a great father to 2 very cute girls. And at this time, his wife was married, or he's married to his wife, obviously. She's pregnant, 9 months pregnant with twins.
Aw.
Oh wow.
Wow. The duality.
Big family.
The duality of man.
Exactly. He's a real nice guy. And he just turned out to be really good at punching people.
He's such a nice guy outside of hockey because he's able to channel all of his aggression in the rink.
Yeah. Think of metal musicians, most of them.
Oh yeah.
They're really nice people because they just get it all out.
Corpse Grinder, the singer for Cannibal Corpse, he got so good at claw games in tour. Basically they spend all of his time on like outside of shows on tour just like doing claw games at gas stations and like, you know, venues and stuff like that. That he's just like a master of the claw game, and he always gets all these stuffed animals and then just donates them.
Well, nice.
That's
That's so
amazing.
nice.
And he
Yeah,
has
so,
the
like,
thickest neck
Cannibal
I've
Corpse.
ever seen. The
Yeah,
thickest neck.
that guy's neck is insane. It's disgusting, honestly. If I see that man, I'm gonna be like, he's dying. That guy's dying. So John Scott, he's the super nice guy. Just punches people in the face. Actually, his story of how he got to the NHL is kind of amazing because he never got in a fight until like his mid-20s playing hockey. He was never a fighter, and then one day they're like, "Hey, you should fight that guy," and he's like, "I'll try it," and then the rest is fucking history. It's crazy. Almost immediately, though, the internet took control. Someone got the idea that John Scott should be the captain of the Pacific Division team. And it was pretty much just a snowball at that point. Everyone was like, yep. Let's fuck this up. Which is insane. The other 3 captains were, quote, quote, normal all-stars who, quote, quote, deserve to be there. But he became a meme at that point. They just kind of started, everyone was shooting that, upvote on that thing. Noticeable, or the NHL was not very happy with this when they first saw that it was happening. When they initially said that everyone could vote, they said it would be they provide weekly updates for voting. As soon as Scott took over the top spot, they cut it off. They were like, we're not telling anybody anything else ever again. But I think people hacked into their website and actually found out how ahead he was, and it was astounding. So the league was very vocal, though, about their disdain for the situation. One of the general managers of the, I think it was the Nashville Predators GM, said, and I quote, it would be, with all due respect, not an appropriate situation.
Boo, boo, hiss.
Fucking fuddy-duddies. Like the NHL tried to convince him to drop out of the game.
Asshole.
Oh my hell no.
Absolutely
My people
not.
want me.
Well, so Scott initially agreed. He was like, "Oh, I don't need to be there." I think he quoted. He said he didn't think he needed. I wrote this down. He didn't think he deserved to be voted in, and hoped he wouldn't be, because I think he was kind of embarrassed.
Oh, just a nice guy. He sounds like
He's
a nice guy.
He's a good guy. But which, like Michael Scott, when told to stop dating Pam's mom, the internet was like, "I'm going to vote him even harder," because I 100% voted for him myself.
He deserves $1 million.
Oh, yeah. So, along with the internet, though, Scott said that his phone was constantly blowing up with texts from NHL players saying that he should 100% go. It'd be awesome for him to go. So, apart from the NHL higher-ups, it seemed like everybody was on his side, both fans, all the players. And while Scott initially agreed with the NHL, like, he shouldn't go, he did think it was cool. There was a lot of interviews after the fact where they asked him about it. And he said, I think the support from the fans in the NHL helped him along a little bit, but there was a moment everything changed. He said that the moment that flipped from not wanting to play to playing is when someone from the NHL called him, once again trying to convince him not to play, essentially trying to shame him. And they said, and I quote, "Do you think this is something your kids would be proud of?"
How rude.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's so mean.
How could you say?
If I was him, I would be like, okay, I'm definitely playing now. I'm going to punch every single one of those all-stars in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Why? Why would you not? Like, that's, of anything, like, this dude's been agreeing with you this entire time.
Yeah, why are you
He's like,
mean to him?
I don't think I should be here. I get it. And I think that they somehow legality wise, they like had to go with the vote because they were trying to get him to tell people like, please stop, please stop, please stop. There had to be something in there that they couldn't cut it off, because they ended up just going to the source of him being like, hey, tell them to stop. And he was like, I tried. So the guy said, do you think this is something your kids would be proud of? And he wrote a Players Tribune article after this. And he said, that's when they lost me. That was it right there. That was the moment. Because while I may not deserve to be an NHL All-Star, I know I deserve to be the judge of what my kids will and won't be proud of me for.
Yeah, like,
I
how dare
like
you
that.
bring my kids into this?
That's nice.
Like, you go fuck yourself.
That was a dick move, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need some water. So one of his teammates ended up texting him in support of it, and he said that he got a text that said, they'll never let you play, John. They're never going to let you be there. Not a guy like you. And
I feel so bad for this man.
Yeah.
dude,
Everyone's dogging
he's
him.
rude.
he's thrust into this situation that it became a meme. He was like, funny joke, whatever, stop, guys. And now he's got NHL people calling him and being mean to him. So, but after that whole, do you think your kids are going to be proud of you thing, he was like, fuck you, I'm going. I'm going to go. Screw it.
Yeah.
I'm out. So,
How'd it turn out?
enter some shifty shit.
No.
A few weeks before the All-Star game, the Arizona Coyotes suddenly traded John Scott to the Montreal Canadiens, and the Canadiens didn't accept him. They immediately sent him down to the minor leagues. So he
Oh
was
my
no longer
gosh.
No.
in the NHL,
That's awful.
thus taking him out of All-Star contention. This was really shifty and real sus because, one, if your team is doing well, they don't trade the enforcer. Someone's got to be there to protect your guys. I've never seen it happen before. Enforcers do not get traded midseason when their team is doing well. It doesn't make any sense. Also, it was announced like on Friday in an afternoon, which they never do. They always wait till the end of the day before they announce things. It was a really weird scenario. And the fact that they sent him straight down to the minors, why would their minor team need a 33-year-old NHL enforcer?
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
make any
messed up.
sense. Everyone put on their conspiracy hats. They're like, this is the NHL trying to fuck us again. And
Well, yeah,
and
I mean,
Scott-
obviously.
And poor Scott, his
Yeah.
9-month pregnant wife who has twins in her belly now has to move to Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
He's just caught in the crosshairs of all this.
This poor fucking guy, dude. So this sparked,
They hollyflaxed him.
yeah, they did. So this sparked an insane amount of controversy. The fans fucking rioted, dude. They got so mad. And I think that may have like pissed off some sponsors or something when they did that, because eventually the NHL had to cave and they're like, fine, you can come. Whatever.
Did he get his
So-
job back?
So, well, I mean, he did get traded, so he would have to go to Montreal, but at least they said, fine, you can play. You come on in. So he did. And that brings us to game day. I swear I'm almost done. So all NHL players, when they play in the All-Star game, they wear an NHL jersey with the NHL logo on the front of it, and they have a patch on their shoulder for whatever respective team they play for. However, John Scott, one, is no longer in the Pacific Division. He's also no longer in the NHL at this point. So he wore that jersey, but with no team logo on the shoulders, but with the captain C on it because he was the captain of the team. And look how happy he is, dude. I fucking love this guy.
Oh yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, that's beaming.
One
That's
patch
beaming
that says
right
C and one patch that says fuck you.
there.
Oh man. So when the teams were announced by the arena PA announcer, they always announce the captains last. When John Scott's name was announced, the arena fucking erupted, dude. It was like a goddamn rock concert. Everyone went crazy. They all stood up. His expression was amazing. He was like, no way. Like, this is real. This is fucking awesome. They showed his family in the stands with his wife and his 2 daughters, and they were fucking losing their minds. It was such a cool moment. It was really, really cool for him to be there. I don't think he expected that. I really don't. But the kids were like super proud of their dad. They're screaming. It was fucking awesome. So in the tournament, you have to win 2 games to win it all. So the first game you got to win. Second game is the final. To recap, this man has scored 5 goals his entire career. He has 6 assists and over 500 penalty minutes. In the first game, 1 minute in, guess who scores the first fucking goal?
Oh, I could get it, John.
Oh, is it
John fucking
John
Scott.
fucking
John,
Scott? John
let's
fucking
go.
Scott.
The entire arena gave him a standing ovation.
Hell
I've
yeah.
never seen that. I've never seen that happen in an All-Star game. They lost their fucking minds. And not only did he score one, he threw a hit, which never happens in an All-Star game. He got into a fake fight with the guy that he hit, which was hilarious. He scored again,
Let's go,
and
John.
he led his team to a 9-6 victory over the Central team,
Boom.
sending
Eat
them
that,
to the finals.
NHL. Suck my freaking
Yes.
nuts, man.
And everyone was watching too. The ratings were through the fucking roof. It was incredible. So, oh yeah, I got a picture.
So
of him
NHL
after his
stands
first goal.
for NHL stands for National Hoser League.
Yeah,
Get 'em.
A bunch of dusters.
that's picture I just sent is it's processing. Scott celebrating his first goal, and it is a doozy. It's a pretty cool photo. Awesome.
Let's
yeah.
go.
So it's usually just a bunch of dudes shooting pucks. They're not trying. They're doing some weird shit. Games end like fucking 15-10. They're ridiculous, right? It's always high scoring. The final game against the Atlantic felt different.
Hockey games are usually like very low scoring, right?
Yes, exactly. When they try hard, they don't score a lot. So this one, like just the buildup to before it started, before puck drop, you could tell the Pacific Division players were like, we're going to fucking win this thing.
Heck yeah. Do it for
And
John.
the final game quickly turned from a spectacle to a 3v3 hockey game. And it was fucking awesome.
Like they were
they were
actually
going
trying.
As hard as possible. These guys were skating so fucking hard. The goalies were standing on their goddamn heads. It was so cool. Some of the dudes made some incredible saves. They put on a fucking show. They gave it everything they had. You could feel the electricity in the building as time was winding down. The countdown brings the final buzzer. The crowd fucking goes nuts. The Pacific Division won 1-0.
Oh.
It was insane. An All-Star game has never done that before. The players were celebrating like I'd never seen before. They were celebrating like they fucking won the Stanley Cup. While the players were celebrating, interviewers were rushing onto the ice to go talk to John. They had to. They were like, "Ugh." So finally one of them grabbed him and asked him a question. He was halfway through his sentence on like saying how cool this thing is when all of the players behind him skated up behind him, picked him up, and paraded him around the ice like the goddamn champion that he is.
I love that.
Heck
That's so
yeah.
inspirational.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah, today he is their captain. He's the reason for everything.
That's so nice.
It was, oh, it's so cool. So, oh yeah, and as they were holding him up, the entire crowd, sold out crowd, was belting MVP, MVP, MVP. It was fucking awesome. It was so cool. So, after that, red carpet rolls out. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman came out to present the giant $1 million check to the captain of the team. Bettman was booed into oblivion.
Good. I was gonna say, like, the ball, like, oh my god, that guy probably was like, oh fuck, I have to walk out there and get, like, we treated this guy like shit, like,
Oh,
and now,
yeah.
oh my god, I don't know how if you can flip someone off while wearing hockey gloves, but I definitely would have done it.
You definitely can. Yeah, so, well, the fun story about that too is Bettman is always booed wherever he goes. It's kind of like a meme at this point because of all the lockout years that they've had. People just boo him. However, this night in particular, there was some extra stank on it. They really were like, boo. It was fucking deep. So he came out. He had the check. John skates over to him, shakes his hand, says, "Thank you, Mr. Commissioner." They take a picture together. All class from Mr. Scott across the board.
Expect nothing less.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a better man than I.
So during the game, the NHL teams get to vote for an All-Star MVP who gets a separate prize just for them.
MVP.
It's always a list of pre-chosen players to choose from who do well in the tournament. John Scott was not on that list. But almost mirroring the way he got to the game itself, 10 out of the 30 NHL teams said no, wrote in John Scott as the playoff MVP with his 2 goals, and he won the MVP as the first ever
Beautiful.
write-in winner.
Oh
for the
my
award.
gosh.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Just,
Pure poetry.
Just as he was the first ever write-in captain, which is fucking money.
Pure.
So
good.
they announced him to be the MVP, and just when you thought you heard that building be as loud as it possibly could be, holy shit, dude. The roof blew off, I swear to God. It was insane. It was fucking pandemonium when John himself was stunned and a brand new Honda minivan drove out on the ice as the prize
Let's
for the MVP. They showed his wife, and she was losing her mind. I assume because she was about to give birth to twins, they needed more space.
And they already had 2 kids. You need a minivan
They
when
already
you
had
have
2
4
girls.
kids.
Yeah, dude. So this is one of my favorite stories
But did he
because
get reinstated in the NHL after that?
yeah. So I'll have a little epilogue for you.
Oh, okay.
So this, yeah, it's my favorite story to tell about hockey because it shows a lot about hockey and the spirit of the sport. It doesn't matter who you are, what role you play, no matter what or who tries to stop you from accomplishing anything, your team will always have your back. And what started as a joke birthed a fucking folk hero with like an indomitable spirit. He couldn't be broken. He rallied his fellow players to fight for him just as he has literally fought for them his entire career. And as a family man who was able to show his wife and his 2 daughters who think the world of their dad that he was a fucking all-star, and he was actually able to show them the all-star that he truly was. It's a real life story with a real life arc, a real life happy ending. Oh, it's so good. I fucking love hockey. Woo!
That's very good. Yeah, that's a really good story.
Yeah.
Especially when the NHL guy was like, oh, your kids are going to be proud of you. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, they are, because I'm actually awesome.
You guess what? After that game, fuck yeah, they were even more proud.
Heck yeah.
It's so cool. So, epilogue after that, John played 1 NHL game and called it quits. He was done.
Oh my God, and then he retired?
He retired. He's
A
like, you know what?
baller.
Retired in a blaze of glory.
I'm out. Blaze of glory. He's enjoying his retirement with his wife and his 4 kids. He wrote a book called A Guy Like Me, which I've heard is fantastic. Every review I've seen on it is like, holy shit, this is so good. And it's
I
all
love
about
that for
his
him.
rise to everything in this whole game. And I'm sure there's a bunch of cool other shit in there. So that is one of my favorite stories. And as to quote you and to quote Ash and Zach, and I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty
I
cool.
think that's pretty cool.
I just noticed
I
that
think
his
that's pretty
kids'
cool.
hockey jerseys say daddy on the back.
Oh,
It's so cute.
wait, is that
That's
a
really
thing that I
cute.
say? And I think that's pretty cool.
You said that a lot. I think you do.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've heard you say
I'm
that.
okay with that
it's
being-
trademark.
I'm okay with that being my catchphrase.
I think
I
when
think that's
we're
pretty cool.
when
I think it's
when
pretty
we're
cool.
dumping, we're like, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know that story. I didn't have a lot of breaks, so sorry for not letting you guys talk as much as you probably wanted to. But that's my hockey story. That's my
No,
hockey
it's all right.
pod.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
The real the underdog, triumph of spirit, triumph of man. It was great.
Awesome.
Poetic justice.
Oh, poetic justice, amazing. Bo, what do you think about John?
As a dad, makes us happy.
Yeah.
No, I knew about John. That story was ridiculous when it first came out.
It's so
and
good.
there's everything around it coming to it. It's just like one of those fuck yeah moments when it just keeps happening
dude.
and happening.
It just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed, and finally at the end, it was just like, oh yeah, there we go. So, yep, that's it. I'm done. I can't wait for the next episode where I talk about even more hockey and/or professional wrestling.
This is gonna be
Heck
great.
yeah, I'm so much more knowledgeable about hockey than I was before.
Tell the story. Tell the story of John. Spread it around the world.
John be his name. Amen.
The legend of
This
John.
episode is dedicated to
The
John.
Book of John.
John, we love you, buddy. He's actually on Cameo too, and I
He's
got
still
him a
alive.
cameo for my friend Evan, and he was hilarious in it. I told him to chirp Evan as much as he could, and he really gave it to him. It was awesome.
Was it expensive?
No, it was like $40. It's totally cool. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Good guy, John.
He's a nice fella. So that's all I got. I don't know if you guys want to say anything else. Have any more questions? If not, then Ash, you can take us out.
Thank you so much for dumping on us today. I loved every second of it. It was thrilling.
It was really great. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm glad you enjoyed my dump.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna go against the norm, and I hated it.
Hey, Bo.
Yeah, get
Hey,
out
Bo.
of here, you
Hey, Bo.
freaking
Hey,
hoser.
Hey, Bo.
2 out of 3.
Hey, Bo. Hey, Bo. Hey, Bo.
Oh no.
Hey,
You
Bo.
freaking duster.
Here it comes.
Fuck you.
Oh,
Hey, there it is. You fucking hoser.
Hey, you fucking hoser.
And on that beautiful note, thank you, all of you listeners, for listening today. Hope you learned a little something. Maybe were inspired. We surely liked having you. We loved getting dumped on today. Thank you, Andrew, for that pristine upper decker.
Really great.
Yes. Have a great night.
Hey, you got to shout out the socials.
go-
So you
go.
you signed up for
Oh,
a
yeah.
Gmail account and an Instagram.
Did we?
Yeah, we have a
Is it,
Gmail now.
is it the same Gmail account that you plugged last time?
It's actually getdumpedonpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, so definitely different than the last.
Yeah, getdumpedonpodcast@gmail.com. We're also Get Dumped on Instagram now.
Shouldn't we be
Oh, shit.
get dumped on podcast on Instagram as well? So that's the same.
No,
Probably.
no.
Well, who's gonna be Gmail? Who's gonna be
Yeah,
emailing us?
Right.
That's true. That's a really good point.
I'm going to just see if you guys respond. But that's
Be like, hey, what's up?
hey, good episode. Hey, I like that bow guy. He was really cool.
he was real handsome.
Yeah.
Real handsome.
Yeah. You can say what you want about Bo.
All right.
You got to say that he's handsome.
How do you
All right, see
end
you guys
a
later.
hockey game with a whistle or?
Hockey game with a whistle, and it's just a whole bunch of good game there, boys. Good game there, boys.
Oh, good game there, boys. Good game.
Oh,
Good game.
boys.
boys. Hey,
Good game, boys.
Good game,
Hey,
boys.
play the whistle.
Hey.
Yeah, we got a whiskey for the biscuit there.
Mm-hmm.
Ash and Zach are super smart. They went to college and learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college because that's the way life goes sometimes. What happens when you put them together and you try to make them learn? Grab your friends, let's listen together on Get Dumped on an Info Dump podcast.
Was that
Okay,
okay?
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Thanks for listening. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.
Bye, John.